Hi, my name is Dave, and this is my YouTube channel, SoundShape. And I'm returning to this YouTube channel after almost 10 years, having not created content for it. I have been creating content on other channels. We can talk about those other channels later. But right now, what you're looking for is something relaxing to listen to. Maybe it's because you need to calm yourself from a anxiety state, panic situation, something like that. It's perfectly fine, and I can completely relate to that. So you're in the right place if that's the case for you. Or maybe you're just looking for something to kind of zone out to. Maybe you're looking for something to relax to in the background while you're doing some kind of house chore or something like that. Or maybe you're looking for something that will help you fall asleep. Hopefully, the sound of my voice will be a relaxing thing for you, and whatever it is that you're looking for, I hope that this will provide some of that, or as much of that as possible for you. So I'm coming back to doing ASMR content because I have missed making content. It's been a little while since I made content for my other channels, which I'll talk about some other time. But I've missed being creative, and I've been going through a lot of my own health struggles and family struggles and things that have led me to really thinking a lot about the concept of finding your own peace, making peace with your life, with circumstances of your life that can't be changed and you don't have control over, things that you wish were different, things that you regret from the past. You know what I'm saying? Just the concept of taking responsibility for your own mental state. And so I've just done a little quick internet search and actually found some interesting quotes that I thought I'd read and then just talk for a few minutes about. This audio recording is just going to be me babbling a little bit. It's honestly just a bit of a test because it's been a long time since I've made ASMR, and this is just a concept that I've had in mind for a long time that I thought would be fun to explore, and apparently now is the time to explore it. So I'm going to read you a couple of quotes and jabber away for a few minutes, and then we will see, how we both feel at the end of this process. This process is as much for me as it is for anybody who might be listening. I struggle with anxiety. There's a lot of circumstances in my life that are out of my control and affect people that I love, people who are very near and dear to me, the circumstances that affect myself. And, we have so much going on in the world right now that we don't have any control over, and we don't know where it's going, and we don't know what the intentions behind some of the moves that are being made in our society. We don't know the intentions of the people who are making these moves, but they are deeply concerning to all of us, regardless of whatever side of the political spectrum you might find yourself on. I don't intend to get political on this channel, but I will address the issues that cause stress and anxiety for us. So, the first quote that I have here is from Ralph Waldo Emerson, and he says, "Nothing can bring you peace but yourself." I feel like that's a good one to start with, because essentially, to me, what that is saying is it's an empowering little sentence there that says to me, you are the one who can bring yourself peace. It's going to take work. It might take learning some things. It's going to take some growth. It will be frustrating at times, but that's all right, because you do have the power to bring yourself a peaceful state of mind. So for those who are listening to this that are having a massive anxiety attack right now, and they just need something to ground them, this is a good reminder. You do have that capability. And how you're feeling at this moment is not your destiny. It is a moment in time that you can recognize and allow to exist. You can make room for this discomfort that you're feeling right now to exist alongside of everything else that is comfortable and is normal and soothing for you and routine for you. So I like that quote because it starts us off with the idea that we have the power to bring ourselves peace. And as long as we're willing to work on that, and as long as we are willing to take that responsibility for ourselves, it can happen for us. So opening a door, I like that. Another one here from Robert Fulghum. He says, peace is not something you wish for. It is something you make, something you are, something you do, and something you give away. I love that. That really says it. Because it's an action. It's not only a feeling. It is a feeling, feeling peaceful. Certainly we can relate to that, but, or relate to wanting it anyway. But the idea that it's an action that you take. It's an existence. It's an action. It's something you can give to other people. It's something that you create. It's not just something, as he says, it's not something you wish for. You may wish for peace. You may, if you're a praying person, you may pray for peace, but ultimately what makes that peace happen is you and your power. So I like that quote a lot. Another one from Mitch Albom. I don't know Mitch Albom. I hopefully am pronouncing his name correctly. It's a short quote. He says, "You have peace," the old woman said, "when you make it with yourself." And that's very relatable, certainly to me, and probably to you. We've all got things to make peace with in ourselves and with ourselves, and that's okay. We have this way of thinking in our society that we're all supposed to have everything figured out. And we're never supposed to feel uncomfortable or unsettled or undecided about things. We're supposed to have a plan and execute the plan like we're some kind of robots. And maybe at some point I'll get more into my personal philosophy about what causes us to feel that way, or the influences in our lives that make us feel obligated to have our stuff together all the time and never show any sign of uncertainty, or certainly not weakness. No, we can't show any weakness. We can't show, any indecisiveness, or else what will others think of us? When all of us are going through the same thing at the same time. And yet the communication barrier that exists between us is preventing us from just acknowledging that, yeah, I'm feeling that way too, or I feel that way at certain times in my life. And wow, it's powerful to recognize that other people are going through their version and their own, with its own characteristics, but essentially a similar or same kind of experience that you're having, where you're unsettled and you're unsure and you're not clear on where you're supposed to be going or what you're supposed to be doing or whether you're on the right path. And, it is not an easy thing for us to exist as humans. We are evolved apes that have developed brains that are complicated enough that we're able to analyze ourselves and each other and we're able to recognize things in our existence that are really difficult to grapple with. We are not just existing to exist and reproduce. We have the ability to analyze our lives. And that intelligence is an enormous blessing in most ways. But it also causes us a lot of mental uh, unease. And you may be hearing, I'm not sure if my filter will be able to get the noise out, but you may be hearing a plane overhead. Apologies if that is distracting. But I'm just, this is mostly like a test recording I'm doing here. So I may have to work on figuring out how to filter all of those things out over time. Anyhow, another thought here from the Dalai Lama: world peace must develop from inner peace. Peace is not just mere absence of violence. Peace is, I think, the manifestation of human compassion. I really like that. I like that as well. I think if you're looking for ASMR videos, you are already probably familiar with looking inward, the idea, the philosophical ideas of working on yourself, understanding how to relate to the world, thinking about things more deeply and in more detail, and trying to turn off the noise and just see what really does exist or what really doesn't, and trying to figure out what is true, things like that, right? I think people who listen to ASMR are often people who are very high overthinkers. I can certainly count myself in that group. But people who are always anticipating and trying to figure out what's going to happen next so that they can respond to it in a way that is, the best possible response. And we feel pressure to be prepared for anything that could happen. We're anticipating all the possible outcomes and what we would do if this happens or that happens. And we are having fights with people in our heads because we're anticipating that they're going to respond to something that we need to tell them in a way that's going to make them do this, and then we're going to say that. And we have this way of needing to try to like map out what's ahead of us. And I think personally, my journey has taught me that I'm never going to feel at peace by anticipating every possible outcome, because my brain will just never stop imagining more outcomes. And that's probably the case for most of us. What I think does make me feel more calm is recognizing my track record at overcoming the things I was hit with that I didn't expect, my ability to adapt, which is far from perfect, but it's growing and it's there and it's strong. And as I focus on that, I take some of the power away from situations that are out of my control, or situations that I'm unprepared for, and that fear and that need to try to anticipate every single little thing that could come, so that I can respond immediately in just the right way to make everything feel calm again. All right, so with all of those rapid fire thoughts out of the way, let's just take a minute together and breathe. There's one final quote that I think it's so succinct. It's short and loaded with good stuff. It's like a multivitamin for your brain. It's by William Wordsworth, and it's just 4 words: rest and be thankful. We have to allow ourselves the space. We have to not only allow, but literally make. We have to create the space for ourselves to get rest, mental rest, physical rest, rest for our hearts, and that rejuvenation that keeps our spirit fighting for us as we go through all the challenges that we go through in our daily lives. So take a minute with me and just let's breathe. I am hopeful that my filter did not filter out the exhale of my breath, because I feel like that's a relaxing thing to listen to. Listening to someone breathe slowly, deliberately, with intention to calm themselves, to calm their environment. We have to do this. We have to do this. And like, our society just programs us to be on at full tilt 100% of the time, full caffeinated, fully jolted up, maybe juiced with something extra if that's your thing. But that's we're really raised to believe that our worth comes from our ability to produce, to be productive. And particularly, especially in America, that productivity, the highest form of productivity, is financial productivity. And we're just constantly chasing the next carrot that they're dangling in front of our face, so that we'll keep working and working and working ourselves into nothing. And we miss our lives while we're doing that. Yeah, we got to work. We've got to provide for ourselves. We have responsibilities, of course, but we also have a responsibility to ourselves to maintain our own well-being. The saying is so true. It's a cliche at this point, but it's true. You can't pour from an empty vessel. You can't give of yourself if you're not replenishing for yourself first. The whole oxygen mask goes on your face first, and then you care for those around you thing. It's true, because if you're out of commission, you can do no good for anyone else who may need you. And so you just have to take care of yourself. So rest, be thankful, think about your blessings. We have to remind ourselves of these things, because there is just so much going on right now that is chaotic and very deliberately designed to dysregulate us and keep us in a state of very near panic, a heightened anxiety state where we will just be almost manic and almost furious with our need to produce and to do the next thing and the next task and the this and the that. But we can't just do that endlessly. So rest, be thankful. Thank you, William Wordsworth, for those very worthy words. I actually managed to say that sentence in one take. I was sure I was going to trip on it. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up, or this audio recording up. I hope you enjoyed a few lovely images. I'm going to splash over the top of the audio just for something nice to look at. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you've enjoyed the sound of my voice, and I hope that you'll return. I do expect to be doing more of these audio recordings and probably video as well for SoundShape. I don't have exact plans yet. It's just something that I'm kind of trying on and feeling enthusiastic about at the moment. So I'm doing it. And I hope that spending a little time with me, spending a little time with each other in the comments will be a productive thing for you, and something that brings you more peace and helps you feel a little more calm and centered and grounded for whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, or whatever is coming up in the future. So thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you all again sometime soon. Take care.